Welcome back. It has been a while since I made a video, and while I understand people do like them, at the same time, after 2 years of doing these videos, it seems like every August I just get into the point where I need to take a break from making weekly videos, and I have no really reason why, but it just seems to happen that way. And then September rolled around and I got busy with a lot of new things that I was doing. So if you're interested in other things that I'm doing, I know I started this off as Malachi's Journey to Financial Freedom, and I am now retired from my work, so I'm looking at things that I can work on and do. One of those things is buying and selling of physical gold and silver, and I do that through Whatnot. I will leave a link down below if you've never heard about that. It's a live auction site where you can run 10, 20, 30-second auctions, and you sell stuff for your set price, or you can start it at $1. I will say, if you have an addictive personality like me and you jump into things head first, be careful because bidding on stuff can be very addictive, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the buying and selling of stuff. So the other thing I've been doing is trading options every morning. I've kind of got that dialed in where I'm like it and it's making me money. So I've been doing that. I pulled that from this page, this YouTube channel. I decided to do the options separately. If you think that options is something that you would like to do or learn about, I've been slowly recording videos trying to explain it. But honestly, there's so much out there on YouTube already, some really great content that I feel like I'm just recreating some of the content. So I was trying to decide if I want to spend the time to do that or if it was worth not doing it because it's already out there for people. But I will say, if you're a trader and you want to manually trade, I haven't found a good. Well, I've been running PeakBot, so I did show that the PeakBot, and it makes money, but it just is in and out, in and out. I really finding that manually trading it, looking at the chart, looking at the stock, making my decision is much more effective than the trading bots. Now that I'm retired, I can do that, and kind of the same thing for Forex and contracts for difference. I'm finding that manual trading in general is better for me profit wise than the trading bots, which I kind of always knew that, but I didn't have the time to sit down and actually trade because I worked full time and my phone would ring and I'd get distracted. And it's fine when you're in a very small trade, but when you're in a trying to do a high leverage trade and make a lot of money, and the high risk trades that we shouldn't be taking to begin with, you don't want to walk away from your computer when the news is coming out and the US 30 or the dollar or something's spiking one direction and you're trying to catch that trend. So that's kind of why I haven't been here. And but I'm still on the Telegram. For those that are on the Telegram, I kind of stopped advertising the Telegram because just so many people were just coming in with the trash and the spam that it got excessive. But I still am there to help people that want help on that and have questions. And what I'm going to do today, this is the 1 year review of running the Valerie trading bot portfolio of bots. I started it last year. It did take some hits. I'm going to show you the settings we're running right now. I did lower them, and then I'm going to run through the whole 1 year review of how it did. So I'm going to jump right into the settings on the server, and then we'll jump into the MyFX book and look at the results. So this is the portfolio I'm running. It's Preceptrader AI, Waka Waka, and Golden Pickaxe. What I found for some reason, and we do have some trades open in Waka Waka, what I found for some reason is that when I'm running this as a portfolio, that it takes does not take the same trades, but it seems to be less risky than running each one individually. And I won't tell you I know why that is, but it just is what it is. I am excited. Valerie Trading has said she's coming out with a new EA. I haven't seen anything this month about it. I was kind of disappointed with the last one because it was a copy trading, and I'm not into copy trading. I have tried copy trading. I have tried other things, and what I found with copy trading is that it didn't work, especially across multiple platforms of brokers, and people picked brokers that had different, like just different feeds. And so the trades didn't work right. And trying to protect everyone's account cost me money because I was trying to work the account for everybody and trying to make it where everyone, the trades would come through and they would, when the market moved the wrong direction, and try and hedge. And it simply didn't work. And it was an epic failure. And so I kind of just got upset and I'm just like, hey, this didn't work. I tried it and I moved on. But so PAI. So here's the first settings. We're going to go in here. We're going to look at the settings. I'm running this on MT4. Um, so I do have this run on significant risk right now. If we look, it's not the high risk, that's the second down. I did lower this to mid risk or maybe even low risk and then moved it back up after April with all the tariff stuff. We'll see that. And I moved it back up because things have started to get a little bit better. And what we'll run down to the big things, max symbols at a time is 2. And we're considering the orders from Waka Waka and Golden Pickaxe is true. And we're in portfolio mode is true. Those are the big things. Max floating drawdown. Now, this is where I got stopped out on trades in April. I have the max floating drawdown at 30%. So if it goes into a max drawdown of 30%, it will close all those trades. All right. And so it will take the loss. And the drawdown type is based on, that's for FTMO, but it's based on equity. Um, and I have it set to close trades and stop trading until I restart it. The max drawdown calculation is based on the account, so that's different as opposed to basing it on the strategy. So if it was just based on PAI and Waka Waka was in drawdown, it wouldn't do anything. But in this case, I wanted to protect the entire account. And then I think everything else is set to standard. Trading frequencies set at 6. Um, and everything else is just set to the standard settings. I'm trying to look. I think there was one more in here that I had changed. And there is the AI settings in here. Let me find the spot for that. So machine learning is set to true. Minimum probability is set to 90. You can lower that and it will enter more trades. The reality on this is I want to make money. I don't want to just take trades for the fact of taking trades. It uses ChatGPT forecast and Bard AI forecast for it. So the biggest thing when I did the setup is I had forgotten to set up um, the first time. I think I forgot to consider the Waka Waka and Golden Pickaxe and set portfolio mode to true. So that's the settings there. We will look at Waka Waka. So the big thing on Waka Waka is I have it set to low risk, which it still takes a lot of trades, but it's set on the low risk mode. And then I do have it set to portfolio mode and to consider GP and PAI. And again, max floating drawdown is set to the 30%. All right. Those are the big settings there. Golden pickaxe also set to low risk, also set to portfolio mode true, and also should have, no, does not have, see, I thought I had adjusted this. Oh yeah, it is right here. Max floating drawdown. There we go. Sorry. Max floating drawdown set to 30%. So those are the settings. We do have some trades open, but let's jump in and look at the charts on my FX book. Okay, so here is my FX book. This is my Valerie trading portfolio, and I will show we have the custom analysis set from September 1st of 2024 to September 1st of 2025. That is one full year, and trust me, it was very hard for me to not go in and want to actually adjust things. I really wanted to let this run. It's a $2,000 account. If it blows, it blows. But I really wanted to let it do its own thing and see what kind of return we get. So overall, the return was 7%. We ended up with $140 in profit because we started with 2,000. All right. And it was a pretty steady climb. I really liked it all the way up from September until April. And we were up 30%. It looked good for the year. And tariffs hit April 4th, had some big moves, and it stopped out. And what we'll see is when it stopped out down here, we went back down to about, I think it was 1800. Does it not show me the numbers there? Let's see, balance. We went down to 1800, 1880, right? We were at 2600, down to 1880. But that's the 30%. Now, having said that, I have a buddy that's running the exact same settings, and his was set at 35%. So not exact, that was the only difference. His did not get stopped out. So that was the difference in this was about 4% difference that I would have, if I'd let it run, it would have closed out and done better. But it is what it is. Can't change it. And guess what? We didn't blow the account. We lost money. And then it's been a pretty steady climb up again since then. I had turned down the risk here to low on everything, and I just turned it up in August back to turn it up to where it is now. Things seem to have stabilized, and I could be wrong. It's not. I think the main thing to look at is the monthly profits on this, and this was all set with the significant risk and then low risk on everything else. 5% for September of 2024, 4% for October, 4.87, 3% for November, and 3.5% for December. And then January was 2.9, February 3, March 4.95. And really, all those are where I'm trying to target. At that 4% a month is my new kind of target. I'm trying to stay away from the 10% a month, 20% a month goals. Although I have been trying to develop a bot with a guy and test it. And so far, it works, but it hasn't hit the numbers that back testing showed. Story of my life. Um, April, this is the big thing. April, we're 27% down, set to 30%. It did make some trades that were profitable, but we took the big hit. And then we're back to May of 5.75. And then I turned it down in May, but it had trades open, so it made money. And I really just turned it down to the low risk and just creeping out 1 to 2% a month, which honestly, it's not horrible. 2% a month is still 24% a year and super low risk, but I'm really trying to target more. So overall, it made $140 in the year. It made 7%. So overall, it made $140 in the year, made 7%. I really would have liked to see more, but it didn't blow the account. When a lot of people were complaining about accounts getting blown, it didn't blow the account. It did stop out and close the trades. And I think if that hadn't happened, we really would have seen that 40% profit for the year. We were really on target for that. And I'm okay with that. 40% is kind of where I'm targeting. So whether it's a $2,000 account, 40% doesn't seem like it's life changing. It's really not. It's 800 bucks a year. But if you're going to trade and have a target, I had to really realize that the way that these Forex accounts get you is that people put in 500 or $1,000 or $100 and they try and put it all in one high leverage trade and double or triple their money. And I will be honest, I still do that sometimes manually and try and make these big swings. But the reality is that's where the high leverage, you get stopped out, you lose your money. That's where they put you on a B book. They see that, they see what you're doing, and bam, they're just pushing you out the door and they're taking your money. Grinding out small profits over long term even though it adds up 40% a year, if you run into a calculator that figures out, income on 40% and compounds it, it's amazing. So what I'll say is I am looking at some other things. I'm working on some other ideas, but for right now, this is what I've got going on Forex. I'm not running the Euro scalper. The dollar versus the euro has just been so wild. I'm testing some, and they're really high profit, high reward, high loss. So I'm looking at those, but I don't know if it's ready to be released yet. So I haven't showed anything, and I'll keep testing those and working on settings. But really grinding out small profits. It's kind of why I like options. And the other thing I'm doing is Whatnot, which, like I said, I will throw that down below a referral link. You get $15 if you buy something. I make $5 if you do it. And literally with this YouTube channel, referral links I know everyone hates them. I've got one for Valerie trading bots. They're expensive. They do work. I've just showed that. It is all about setting it up right, but I do get a referral off of those. That is literally the only way this YouTube channel makes me money. So I know people don't like referral links and think I just spam them. I show stuff that I don't make referrals on, but in this case, they happen to have it. So why would I not take advantage of it? So if you've watched this long, thank you very much. I'm probably not going to be blasting out a weekly video for right now. I'm probably going to try and do 1 to 2 videos a month. But if you like what you see, do me a favor, hit the like and hit the subscribe, and I'll be back in a little bit showing some of the other stuff that I'm doing.